Hi everybody on YouTube. This is Fossilsaurus again. My first real unboxing video. So we'll see how I do. My second actual video. I haven't really learned anything since then, so I'm just gonna get right into it. As with some of the things I got, I did have to originally open them to check and see what they were. But this one I only did very slightly, so it will still be mostly a full unboxing, just except for this. Now this has a two-part thing. We'll start with this. Very cool, but less impressive. Now, this is a jaw section of a fish called the Protosphyraena, or Protosphyraena. Not entirely sure which it is. It's the back of the jaw. You can see the tooth sockets here. I'm actually not as familiar with the jaws and a lot of the smaller bones like that, because you don't really see them for sale often. And when you do look at pictures and do some research, you generally don't see things like this. This is not a piece that is as easily visible as a lot of others. So you can see some of the striations on it, which are pretty regular for a lot of parts of the fish. This may be two separate bones that are connected there. Well, no, actually they're not. This, I believe, is part of the hinge, though, on the outside. Would connect here, I believe. And this is where the back of the teeth start. Unusual shaped sockets, because the teeth further out, which are very well known, are much rounder. So this must actually be a second shape of teeth in the back area of the mouth. This first one looks more like what I would expect, but these guys, I'm not exactly sure what the teeth in there would look like. I'll have to look into that more. But it's not the most impressive looking, but as far as what exactly it is, it's pretty unique and pretty cool. Let me put this aside now. Now this is the big enchilada here. I'm going to take this out of the picture for a second just so I can get a better angle to cut it with. Me and the box will be right back. Some of the things, I mean, it's very good that they've boxed them so well. It can become a big pain to get them out, but it's more than worth it. You definitely don't want anything to happen to these guys, so this is the pectoral fin of one. Very cool, much bigger as you see. This is where it connects to the body. Obviously it goes out like that. This is not just an imprint here, even though this is where part of it's broken off, as you can see. But these dark lines are actual three-dimensional stripes, so they're not just indentations. So that must be like an outer layer, which I've heard they do have a keratinous shell, as it were, around the fins. So that might be what that is part of. You can also see a couple other layers along there, and you can actually see a space in there. So it's very delicate here. You can start to see here little waves. That is a big tell for this fish. The different species have different looking edges. Some of them are just very rigid saw blades, very dangerous looking, very cool looking, and it is thought that they were potentially offensive. They definitely could do some damage full speed. I mean, it would just cut through something. Very possibly just swimming through schools of fish can cut them up and then turn around and eat them. But also these were thought to be defensive too. These fish come from different parts of the world, around the world, but one of the more common places to find them is the chalk formations of Kansas and South Dakota and some of the other places around the western interior sea, which is one of the most horrifically the most horrific collection of massive, dangerous monsters that have ever been collected in one small area. Huge mosasaurs. It's where elasmosaurs, large plesiosaurs are. All kinds of sharks, massive, massive sharks. Just some fish. There's a fish called the Zophactinus, which is a 20-plus foot fish that have been, they just swallow things whole. There's a skeleton of one that has a 6-foot fish, human-sized fish, in its stomach, perfectly preserved, because it apparently died right after swallowing it. I guess it was too big of a meal. So, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful fossil. But these were very long, too. So this fin probably went out about that far. Very long, sword-shaped fins. And they were thought to be able to stiffen. I mean, they were stiff, but kind of lock in an outer formation, so it would make it very hard for anything to get them in their mouth or swallow. These were, of course, Western Interior Sea, so that means that they were in the Cretaceous. These guys were in the late Cretaceous, and they seem to have gone extinct at the KT extinction, where the dinosaurs and other flying and marine reptiles went extinct as well. Very sad, but kind of good in a way to get some of the things out so the modern things, other things had a chance to make their way in. Now, in the pictures you'll see, these guys looked in some way almost exactly like swordfish, but with a smaller sword. Almost exactly. But they were not related to them. They were in a group that is totally extinct now, called the Pachycormids, not related at all to the swordfish family or barracuda family, which is another thing that these are usually looked at as being very similar to. I don't see it as much as I do the swordfish, but that's just me. But yeah, here's where it connects right here. This part right here is the part that comes out of the skin. This is probably all underneath the dermis and so on. This is where the muscles would attach. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. I was very lucky to get it for a good price. Something like this could go for extremely high prices. I mean, not in the thousands or anything like that, but well above my range. I was very, very, very lucky, as you have to be sometimes in order to get pretty amazing pieces. So I'm very happy with this. One of my favorite extinct fish. Very cool. You'll see some pictures. I'll start putting them up. I'll start putting them up now. You can see the connection to swordfish, the non-existent connection to swordfish. You can see the sword they have very, very interesting, very cool mouths. They have all their teeth kind of, I can't even do it with my hands. All their teeth point outwards towards the outside of their mouth. So it almost seems like they would use them to spear things as they were, like, because they all stick out like that. So almost spearing instead of the usual teeth pointing back in as like a trap to stop fish from getting out. So it's very unique dental structure. Very cool. It looks very brutal. Just, I mean, the way it looks. It's a very, very dangerous and scary looking animal. Very, very glad that they're not here right now. I mean, it's sad. They're very cool looking, but they're like hell's version of swordfish. So they were bigger. They were about the size of sword. Some of the average billfish, especially if you do a comparable bill size. If you took a swordfish's bill size and lowered it to the Protosphyraena, it might actually, these guys might actually be longer. So you can see their amazing teeth. Just so much about them. Well, so much about them does not seem that unique because of how much they look like swordfish. So much about them is unique too. So it's a very cool fish. Like I said, it's probably my favorite extinct fish. Very awesome fossil. I was thrilled to get it. It's definitely going to have a place on my wall when I get everything prepared and have it. It'll be maybe not front and center, but it'll definitely have a place of honor. So yeah, those were from one of the boxes I got. I guess that's it. We'll bring the other one up here. As you can see, quite a difference. Little jaw piece. I could not tell you how big the fish for this would be compared to the fish for that. It could be comparable because if this is just the back of the jaw, then that could be a fairly significant jaw size. I'm just not sure. But there you have it. My first video. I hope you guys like